Our hospital is launched. The Ministerial Committees for Trade and Industrial Cooperation and Standardization on Affairs of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries review in Muscat, promoting the growth of the economic sector. And 30 usufruct contracts for agricultural lands in Dhofar Governorate are signed. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. The Ministry of Health inaugurated this morning the expansion project of Sohar Hospital under the patronage of His Excellency Abdul Salam bin Mohammed Al Murshidi, President of Oman Investment Authority, in the presence of His Excellency Dr. Hilal bin Ali Sebti, Minister of Health, along with Their Excellencies Undersecretaries and Governor of North Al Batina. More details in the following report.
Expansion project of Sohar Hospital was opened today. The first phase of the project was constructed under the direct supervision of the Royal Court Affairs, represented by the royal establishments. The 28 million project keeps pace with the government's tireless efforts, represented by the Minister of Health, to ensure access to the health services and promote decentralization in the governorates, according to the National Strategy of Oman Vision 2040. 270 beds were added, on which the hospital's capacity increased to more than 636 beds that will allow meeting the continuing demand for specialized health services in the governorates and beyond. His Excellency Dr. Saeed bin Harab Al-Lamki, Minister of Health and the Secretary for Health Affairs, pointed out that the new expansion is a qualitative addition to the health services in the hospital through upgrading the services into tertiary services.
This expansion provides service for more than 800,000 population here in North Al Batina Governorate, and this provides the latest technology in terms of latest advancement in patient care and technology and interventions for patients. This expansion include care in terms of accident and emergency for both adults and pediatrics. It include latest technology in terms of radiology and advancement in radiology, include renal dialysis unit, include obstetrics and gynecology ward, and latest technology in intensive care for both adults and pediatrics as well. It also involved the establishment of a cath lab for patients here in North Al Batina Governorate, which is a new service established with this expansion. We're very grateful for this, and this will serve the patient and will help the doctors to advance in their career as well.
The 4-floor buildings were constructed with a total built-up area of 30,000 square meters, in addition to service tunnels and a training center. His Excellency Mohammed bin Sulaiman Al-Kindi, Governor of North Al Batina, stated that this governorate is considered the biggest governorate in terms of the Omani population at the Sultanate's level. Therefore, the government paid the most significant attention to supporting the health services in this governorate at all levels. The expansion as well as extension of Sohar Hospital came due to the continuing demand of specialized health care in North Al Batina and beyond. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Sohar, Governorate of North Al Batina.
The Sultanate of Oman hosted the GCC ministerial meetings of the 64th Trade Cooperation Agreement and the 50th Industrial Cooperation Committee, the 5th meeting of the Ministerial Committee for Standardization Affairs, and the consultative meeting between the Ministers of Trade and Industry and the heads of federations and chambers of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries. The ministerial meetings were chaired by His Excellency Qais bin Mohammed Al Yusuf, Minister of Trade, Industry and Investment Promotion. More details in the following report.
Steps towards achieving fruitful Gulf cooperation and mutual economic growth was the core of discussion at meetings held in the Sultanate of Oman for Their Excellencies Ministers of Commerce of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries. The Trade Cooperation Committee discussed completion of the implementation of the tracks of the Gulf Common Market by 2024 and developments in addressing challenges of intra-trade between the GCC countries, in addition to a decision on the establishment of a permanent committee dealing with investment issues and other related issues related to the trade sector in the GCC countries. The meeting of the Industrial Cooperation Committee had an extensive discussion on topics related to the industrial aspect, including finding a unified definition of the national Gulf product and its standards, and the proposal of the General Secretariat to establish an electronic information platform concerned with the Gulf industrial projects and the executive regulations of the Unified Industrial Organization law system, as well as discussing a proposal to identify integration opportunities of chains of industries and mineral products between the GCC countries, in addition to reviewing the experiences of member states in the field of factories of the future. In the meeting of the Ministerial Committee for Standardization, the workflow of the Gulf Standardization Organization was discussed, and the adoption of draft Gulf Technical Regulations and Gulf Sectoral Technical Regulations was discussed, in addition to the use of the Gulf Conformity Badge System and the Gulf Accreditation Center. Their Excellencies, Ministers of Commerce and heads of federations and chambers of the GCC states also held a consultative meeting with the aim of promoting the growth of the economic sector in the GCC states. They discussed setting up a mechanism to provide business incubators for digital projects and artificial intelligence projects emerging in the GCC states, and emphasizing the importance of the commercial concession law, as well as establishing a unit for Gulf content, in addition to discussing supply chains and finding a unified definition of the Gulf product. On the sidelines of the ministerial meetings, the platform for Gulf entrepreneurs was launched, with the aim of providing them with the necessary data and information to identify and review investment opportunities in the GCC countries, financing channels and supporting bodies to enable them to develop and improve their business, and to serve as a platform for dialogue and consultation between entrepreneurs and investors, and to promote the products and services of Gulf entrepreneurs.
The Ministry of Economy organized a workshop to determine the interim priorities of the ministry. The workshop discussed the indicators and objectives of Oman Vision 2040 in relation to the ministry and reviewed the progress of this year's action plan. The workshop started with a brainstorming session in which ministry officials and economists engaged in dialogues and discussions on the performance for the current year's annual plan. The event also sought to convert the annual plan for next year into action programs in line with the Oman Vision 2040 roadmap and the 10th five-year development plan. The Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning signed 30 contracts for usufruct of lands in the agricultural sector in the wilayas of the Dhofar Governorate, with a total value of about 1,050,000 Omani riyals. The usufruct land program aims to achieve sustainable investment of government lands in the Sultanate of Oman, including various agricultural, commercial, industrial and tourism lands. It also aims to meet the needs of the Sultanate of Oman for food security projects using modern and innovative scientific methods. The agreement was signed by His Excellency Engineer Hamad bin Ali Al-Nizwani, Under-Secretary of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning for Housing. The Governor of Al-Brami's office signed a memorandum of understanding with Oman Telecommunication Company related to cooperation in telecommunications and exchange of expertise in various sectors. As per the agreement, Omantel will be the supporting partner for the implementation of a digital transformation program in the office of the Governor of Al-Brami and offices affiliated to the Governorate. The memorandum will work on determining the guiding principles for the development process of services and basic infrastructure of communications and information technology. The memorandum was signed by His Excellency Sayyid Dr. Hamad bin Ahmed Al Busaidi, Governor of Al Brahmi, and Talal bin Saeed Al Ma'mari, CEO of Omantel. The Youth Center and Oman Liquefied Natural Gas Company signed an agreement to support summer programs in the Governorate of South Al-Sharqiyya. The agreement includes 12 training programs for the youth in various technical, industrial, and entrepreneurial fields. The programs aim to polish the skills and talents of the participants. Still to come in our news bulletin. A Hobbit-style village is built in Bosnian hills to attract tourists. Children First Association, in cooperation with the General Directorate of Education in South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate, organized the Nationalism Forum under the title Proud of My Homeland, with the aim of actively instilling good values in children. The forum was held under the patronage of Her Highness Sayyida Dr. Muna bint Fahad Al Saeed. More details in the coming report.
Children First Association, in cooperation with Directorate General for Education in South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate, organized citizenship forum entitled I'm Proud of Home. The forum included several activities such as a speech delivered by Her Highness Sayyida Muna bint Fahad Al Saeed, Chairman of Children First Association.
Of course, we are Children First Association who have run this symposium on the importance of citizenship, especially at school-age children in Sharqiyya region. So we hope that the 3 months that concluded today has brought our children a lot of knowledge, opened their minds and eyes and thoughts to good citizenship, and that we can continue to have more of such activities in the future.
The forum also aims to develop student citizenship values throughout their educational journey at school, and it helps to exchange experiences in presenting scientific content to students.
We hope, inshallah, to enjoy more students to be in this program, not for special student. No, we hope all the school in our Sharqiyya region, it will be in this program to know more information about Oman, to be very proud about because we are Omani and we have to be very proud of these things.
This forum comes to fulfill one of the association's missions in improving some of the values in a practical way by focusing on a certain governorate with all its cultural, traditional, and national achievements. In addition, it helps all students in the governorate to expand their knowledge in citizenship aspects, as they didn't get a good opportunity to know more about the traditional and civilized achievements. This forum comes to expand children's knowledge in terms of citizenship and cultural values by providing a supportive environment that helps them to gain the required skills and knowledge. Sultan bin Saif al-Sara'i from South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate, Wilaya of Sur.
The Directorate General of Education in Al-Dakhiliya Governorate held a ceremony to celebrate Teachers' Day. The event was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Khalfan bin Saeed Al-Shaili, Minister of Housing and Urban Planning. More details in the following report.
With feelings of gratitude and thankfulness, the Directorate General of Education in Al-Dakhiliya Governorate found on the occasion of the Teachers' Day an eminent opportunity to appreciate the teachers' merits, efforts, and benevolent attributes. Thus, it held a joyful ceremony in recognition of their significant contributions to the educational process.
We as a Directorate of Dakhiliya, we are so glad with that. We honor that teachers school headmasters and supervisors in this Teachers' Day. We planned for this ceremony from or at the beginning of this year that we are ready for this one. And my message to all the teachers or headmasters or the supervisor that their efforts of all the day, whole the year is appreciated.
I cannot express my feeling and how I really feel today, since the words are never be enough to express my glad appreciation and happiness to be here and be a part of this big, great ceremony today. I'm really pretty sure that all teachers they can be here Wednesday and they all do a great job. And just I want to tell them that you all will work just to convince the message of education, since this is our responsibilities and the best thing that we can do for them.
During the ceremony, 273 teachers and members of the administrative cadres from various schools of Al-Dakhiliya Governorate were honored for their dedication to students' success at different educational levels.
It's a pleasure to be here among those distinguished teachers who were really chosen to be awarded for being best teachers. I'm really proud of myself, and this really gives me a great push to do more and to continue hard working. And I'd like to thank the ministry for really this opportunity that allow teachers to express their feelings here and to do their best in their future career.
I am very happy to stand here with my colleagues teachers, and we don't work in the schools to be here only, but this is our duty. This is like a motivation for us to do our best and more, inshallah, for the students and for our country, Oman, inshallah.
Teachers play significant roles not only in instilling noble values and morals in the hearts and minds of students, but also through their contributions to the achievements of schools at the local and regional levels, in addition to their initiatives and strategies to keep abreast with developments. Moments of pride and fulfillment in tribute to the spectacular impacts these remarkable educators have on the students and the community at large. صالح بخلفان الرحبي، ولاية أوفيزكي، الداخلية، Governorate.
Wildfires continue to ravage large areas in Siberia and the Urals, destroying thousands of structures. On Tuesday, Russian state news agency TASS reported that 21 people had died in the fires in the Ural Mountains. Russian state TV showed today forest fires raging in the Novosibirsk region, where residents of the Maryinka village were evacuated. All the residents of the Novosibirsk region received an SMS warning them about the high risk posed by the fire. In the Sverdlovsk region, there are 59 active wildfires, but no casualties. Over the past day, firefighters managed to put out 16 fires, and 30 fires are currently contained. More than 4,100 people and 570 pieces of equipment are involved in the fight against the blazes. In recent years, Russia has experienced especially widespread forest fires, which experts blamed on unusually dry summers and high temperatures. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said today that Russia has a very negative attitude to the reports about the planned UK delivery of cruise missiles to Ukraine. Peskov also condemned the US decision to transfer seized assets from a sanctions-hit Russian oligarch to Ukraine to reconstruct the country, saying it undermines the right of property. Kremlin spokesman called on Azerbaijan and Armenia to avoid steps that can escalate tensions following the latest bout of escalation that left one soldier dead and several others wounded. Peskov said Moscow's decision to end the visa regime for Georgia and lift the flight ban on direct flights to the South Caucasus nation was made for humanitarian reasons. Four sisters are building the first Hobbit-style village in southeast Europe in the green hills of central Bosnia, hoping to attract fans of the Lord of the Rings books and movies, as well as sharing their childhood memories.
The Krizevo Hobbiton, as the Hobbits' village is called, is located in the village of Rakova Noga, near the old royal and mining town of Krizevo, some 40 minutes drive from the capital of Sarajevo. Last year, Marija, a 28-year-old geology engineer, proposed to her sisters that they build house in the style of the Hobbit homes in J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings tales. The whole houses are built into the ground.
We are here in Rakova Noga, our family village, where the four of us sisters grew up. And it was here that we found inspiration to create something enchanting for outsiders, enticing them to visit our village, our town, and our country. We made the decision to construct the village in the form of a Hobbit community.
The sisters decided that the houses must include characteristics of the area where they live and that each sister would decorate one dwelling as she likes. They have already built 2 houses and 3 others are under construction. The first house, with a round green door and window, was named Lipa after the village where she had spent most of her childhood with her grandparents. The second house is named Uba, after a cave in Krizevo. Its ceiling is decorated with stalactites to provide a feeling of being in the cave. Her house's door and window is painted red after the coloring of the cinnabar ore. The other 3 houses, which should be completed soon, will also be named after local attractions. For example, Berim, with towers on its corners, is named after the fortress where Bosnia's last queen, Katarina, had stayed while in Krizevo. Tourists from across the region and other European countries have already started visiting.
This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main headlines once again. With a total cost of 28 million Omani riyals, the expansion project of Sohar Hospital is launched. The Ministerial Committees for Trade and Industrial Cooperation and Standardization on Affairs of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries review in Muscat, promoting the growth of the economic sector. And 30 usufruct contracts for agricultural lands in Dhofar Governorate are signed. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night and have a lovely weekend.